I know you can see this in the shot, but we're gonna go anyway. Do you ever see a movie that just grinds your gears? Like, it just gets under your skin. And not like in a way where it's like, oh, that movie was so scary, like it got under my skin. No. I'm talking about a movie that's so bad and frustrating that like it just numbs your mind and it just like frustrates you to no end. To me, that movie is Wounds. Now, Wounds is a movie that premiered at Sundance this year. It's from the director of Under the Shadow, I believe. His name, hold on a second. Babak Anvari. All right, we're gonna go with that. My man Babak over here, he made this movie Wounds after his really successful Under the Shadow movie. Now, a lot of people actually like that movie, so I think there were a lot of expectations going into this, like, oh, this will be another great horror movie, but it got pretty mixed reviews at Sundance, and you can definitely see why. But I've actually been looking forward to this movie because, you know, a horror movie that premieres at Sundance, you know, of course I'm going to want to see it. But after seeing it, I'll just come out and say it. This is just a horrific disappointment on every level. The acting isn't that great. Other than Armie Hammer, who's okay, everyone else is just... And I'm a fan of Dakota Johnson, but she is not very good in this movie, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Day Day. But this movie was just, it's the epitome of squandered potential, because the idea was intriguing. Like, what creeps me out the most in movies, like, ghost stuff doesn't really get under my skin. So having this premise of finding this phone with, like, gore porn on it, and, like, being caught within this cult mystery, I find really interesting and intriguing. I'm a fan of horror movies. I like gore. I like the Saw movies because the gore is pretty cool and the story is so wacky. But, oh my god. Jump scares are maybe the worst thing to happen to horror movies. Jump scares can be used in a way where it's like appropriate. Like, for example, James Wan does a really good job of building you up and building up the tension and then releasing with a big moment. Most horror movies don't do that and will just do like, oh, a bird hit the window or something like that. But this movie, Babak goes the extra mile here. Babak does this thing where he'll just flash an image on the screen with zero context and zero purpose. Just gore porn there. With a noise accompanying it, of course. And that's just, you're breaking the rules, Babak. You're not allowed to do that. I get that your movie didn't turn out the way you wanted and it's not very scary, but just flashing an image of gore on the screen out of nowhere, that's not cool. So yeah, this movie got under my skin, I'll admit it, but not because it was earned, but because it was done cheaply. Like, just flashing an image of Dakota Johnson's decapitated head out of nowhere is not an effective scare. That's just cheap, gimmicky bullshit. And I'm not okay with this, Babak. Why are you doing to this? You're breaking me apart here. It was just unwatchable. And, like, I'm usually pretty good, like, about horror movies. Like, I thought I was desensitized, but I was actually covering my eyes for like the duration of the movie because these images just pop out of nowhere and it's just like, it's just cheap. It's just garbage and it's just, I don't know why it's a thing because the cinematography is great. It looks really good. I mean, that's the best thing this movie has going for it. But the cinematography is well done. But I couldn't admire it when my damn hands are over my face. Also, these dang images that you're showing me, Babak, at least show me different ones. And you do, but there's this one of an eye that you see at least 3 times. And it's the exact same eye. The same damn eye 3 times. It's like, it's just spam, Babak. You're like spam mail. And okay, so that jump scare thing, I can see how people might admire that take. And like some movies have done this really well. Like I think the Suspiria remake, they had a few moments like this, but it was in a dream sequence where it's supposed to be nightmarish and I thought it worked really well. And also in the movie An American Werewolf in London, one of my favorite horror movies ever. During the dream sequence, they have that iconic image of the vampire like that creeped the shit out of me when I was a kid. That was terrifying. But those were actually in dream sequences where the placement of those images made sense. In this movie, they're just there, like for no purpose other than to spook the audience. And that's just the lamest kind of scare you could possibly have. Like, Babak, you're tripping. Might I digress? That could be a total subjective thing. Like, maybe some people love that placement of random images. Maybe it goes over well. I don't know. But on top of that, you have the worst ending to a movie ever. I thought The Devil Inside was bad, and that's a terrible ending. But like this movie, it rivals that. It's much weirder than that ending, and it's much more frustrating, at least to me. When you conclude a movie, usually you answer the questions that have been building up throughout the film, but this movie only brings up like 10 more questions and answers none. I'm okay with movies where you have to interpret things, or you have to like rewatch a movie to get more out of it and to answer the questions, like Donnie Darko, like rewatching that movie to truly understand what's going on. But this isn't a movie like that. This is a movie where they just have random things happening just to be weird and spooky. So there's no analyzation you can do here. It's just trash. It's just garbage. The ending is embarrassingly bad. Not only does it make zero sense and is it not explained at all, but it's just it's so goofy, and the rest of this movie has not been goofy like this. The rest of this movie has been like relatively serious, and especially like the gore images are creepy as fuck. But this is just camp. This is just dumb, and it completely tanks anything the movie had going for it. And I know a lot of like the IMDb ratings have been like ones because like, oh, the ending is the worst thing ever, and it is the worst thing ever. But I'm one of the people who's like, okay, but if an ending's bad, you at least have parts of the first like 80% of the movie that are worthwhile. But this is a kind of ending that just like takes everything you watched and just says, okay, you don't get any payoff. There's just nothing. Like, there's just nothing there.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So it's just so insanely frustrating, and I don't even know what to say. We're in an age where we get so many great horror movies. Like, we have It Follows, which was delightful. We have Hereditary, which was terrifying. We have Midsommar, which is a beautiful movie. And The Vavitch. We get so many great horror movies these days, and I was really hoping this would be another one. But instead, it's just one of the worst things a movie can be, which is squandered potential. And don't get me wrong, I know making a movie is really hard, and it takes a lot of collaboration and a lot of people working together. So, you know, Babak, if you're proud of this movie and you're happy with the product, my hat tipped to you. It just sucks that it ultimately leads to nothing, and it's a complete waste of time by the end of it. I would give this, I gave it a 2 on Letterboxd. Maybe that's a little low, but I really did not like this. This was trash. So thanks for watching this video. I'll put more stuff up later after I recover from this nightmare.
Nightmare, 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 nightmare.